Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. Oh boy, here we go. Lot to talk about. What happened yesterday. Before I get to the games today, just a wild day in college football. It's always a wild day. Saturday college football. You're betting on the games, and you can always find bad beats. But not every bad beat is a featured game on television, or just not all bad beats are created equal. And I just can't help but start with the Alabama Vanderbilt game yesterday. Alabama up by 9. They get a touchdown at the end of the game for essentially no reason. That pushes them to cover. But last night's Colorado TCU game is a bridge jumper if you have Colorado. TCU's up by 7. 26 seconds, 28 seconds left. It's 4th and 6. They're on Colorado's 20-yard line. They kick the field goal, go up by 10. And, the spread's 13.5. We're all good there. If you have Colorado, they're going to go for it. And I guess they want to go for it because, maybe a field goal can get blocked. If I'm a coach, I'm watching all these kicks get blocked. Maybe that's the last thing I want to do is kick a field goal. So they just throw it up in the end zone, kind of like maybe the worst case scenario is it gets intercepted or it's incomplete. And Colorado's going to get the ball at their 20. I guess it makes sense. But, man, to complete the touchdown like that, and then TCU wins and covers. Oh boy, if you had TCU or if you had Alabama, great. If not, geez, I feel bad for you. That's a tough one. And then baseball yesterday, you're just chasing because no one wants to take the Brewers in game 1. They just don't. Minus 155, minus 160 is the number. The Cubs got Boyd pitching. They're coming off all the momentum, and then boom, the Brewers just absolutely smash them. So you're not going to win that bet if you took the Cubs. I don't think most people wanted to take the Brewers in game 1. And then the next game, you got the Yankees just, more money's always going to go on the Yankees. They can't get going. Gossman pitch as well. Blue Jays win. The late game last night, the Tigers are just playing with house money now. Their fans are going to be unbelievable for that game 3. They haven't seen their fans in a while. They don't win the division. Then they end up with the wild card. They win that. Then they win last night in Seattle. That was a great win for them. And then I got to spend a minute here on this Kike Hernandez character from the Dodgers because that's what makes sports so amazing is some people, and there's only a handful of people that are so much better in the most pressurized moments than they are typically. And it's just, you don't even know what to say about it. This Kike Hernandez character for the Dodgers is always getting big hits. So the Phillies are up 3-0 yesterday, and the Dodgers are just dead. They're just dead. They got 2 outs in the 6th inning. First and second, 2 outs, and he just rips a double, gets both runs in. And then next inning, the Hernandez character hits the 3-run homer. Dodgers beat the Phillies. Ohtani pitches 6 innings. Oh, man, just a great day yesterday in sports. Florida State, speaking of trying to get a backdoor cover, they kicked the field goal instead of getting the touchdown at the end of the game, so Miami holds on for that win. Carson Beck looks good, man. He looks like he's going to be playing football on Sundays next year at a pretty high level. Just that ball comes out, a beautiful pass. Miami's good. Penn State's a flaming disaster. The scene yesterday in UCLA is an all-timer. Before the game, we're talking like COVID level crowd. It's just bad. There's so much social distancing. So much social distancing in between seats. You can't believe that's a UCLA football game. Then you're like, well, it's the middle of the afternoon in sunny Southern California. I guess no one wants to go to a UCLA football game. Fine. So most of the fans are just Penn State fans anyway. They stay after the game and just harass Franklin as Penn State loses in a game that is probably going to cost them his job unless they win a playoff game this year. Penn State loses, just a disaster of a game. And then Texas, that'll be my last thing. Then we'll get to the games today. But Texas, you didn't like the Manning family. You win yesterday because Arch Manning does not look great. Taking a lot of sacks. It's like he's got the worst characteristics of Eli and the worst characteristics of Peyton to put together. I know he's young. I know he just started, but oh boy, Florida is not that good. And Florida just put it on him yesterday. Arch just couldn't get out of his own way. The crowd's ridiculous. Texas loses, and now they're on the edge of not making the playoffs here. So they're going to have to finish strong down the stretch, and their team just doesn't look great. Maybe last year was their best chance to win as they had Ohio State on the ropes and couldn't get it done. All right, NFL Sunday, Vikings of Browns in London. You know what? This is the dumbest game of all time. So the Vikings played in Ireland last week. They get to stay, I guess, over there, and that gives them a big advantage. And the Browns, I can't figure out what the Browns have done to alienate the NFL so much. But man, this owner, I guess they hate the owner, right? That's what he did with Deshaun Watson. All the other owners hate him. The Browns' schedule is ridiculous. They don't have a bye next week. I double check this, but the Browns are playing at Pittsburgh next week. So as their season is, I mean, if anybody was the quarterback today besides Carson Wentz, I would bet every dollar I have on the Vikings, because this Browns team is, they play next week at Pittsburgh. Just, so they went to Detroit last week and get absolutely, shell shocked there. Not a competitive game. Then they go to Ireland, or where are they going? London today. And then next week they're going to play at Pittsburgh. So the Browns are going to pick number 1 in the draft. They have no idea what they're doing with their team. Dylan Gabriel is going to be god awful today. I want to just take the under for the Browns total team points, but something tells me Carson Wentz will accidentally give up 2 touchdowns the other way. So I just won't bet on the game. Plus, you can't bet on a London game unless you got nothing else to do. If you got nothing else to do, good for you. But betting on these games today, wow. I mean, betting on that game, the Browns-Vikings game, is just, I don't know where you begin. You haven't seen Dylan Gabriel throw a football in the NFL, and Carson Wentz, you've seen him throw a football in the NFL. So I actually think this Vikings team is still going to be viable for the playoffs. They'll probably win today, but I'm not putting money on it. All right, games I'm staying away from. I got 5 games I like. Well, it's 4.5. I'm deciding here on the 5th one if I'm going to pull the trigger. But first game I'm going to stay away from is this Cowboys-Jets game. Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to this Cowboys team. They're just up and down, up and down. I wanted to take the Cowboys to beat the Bears. They laid an egg. Then they're amazing on offense last week against the Packers. I think they're going to have a letdown week. I like the Jets today, but I don't like the Jets enough to put money on it. I would favor the Jets. It's just a shitty field to play on. The Cowboys do play there often because of the Giants. I get it. I just think the Jets defense is going to overwhelm the Cowboys. So I would take the Jets, but I just don't love it. I don't know how you can love the Jets, period. Just the way the Jets play football, it leaves a lot to be desired. But I think the program actually is going to turn around. I think Aaron Glenn's a little quirky. I think it's a little weird over there, but I think his heart's in the right spot. And the Jets are going to beat a couple good teams, maybe in November or December. I think they win today. But again, not super confident on it. The other stay away game at 1 o'clock is the Giants and the Saints. I mean, if you've been betting on sports long enough, you know that all signs are pointing to the Saints today, because why would the Saints be a favorite? Spencer Rattler's the quarterback. All those things just scream take the Saints, especially the way the Giants looked last week. Yeah, they beat the Chargers, but Jackson Dart, not a lot to be desired. Taysom Hill's back. Foster Moreau's back, the tight end for the Saints. It's a stay away from me. But I just don't know if the Saints can actually win a football game, because they just haven't won a game in a while. Rattler's never won. So I got to see it to believe it. So I'm not going to put money on it. But I do understand the logic there of the Saints getting most of the money instead of the Giants. But you just got to remember, the Giants' defensive line is so good, they can just screw the whole game up. And then they get the Eagles on Thursday night. Next week. It wouldn't shock me if the Giants won. This game's just too tough. And then what else we got? 1 o'clock. This is my half game. So I'll do this one right now. Maybe by the end of the pod, I'll decide which way I'm leaning. But I want to take the Colts -7 over the Raiders today. Brock Bowers isn't going to play. And the Colts really should have won last week against the Rams. Colts offense is really good. The Raiders are going to go on. I'm taking this game. Fuck it. 5 games. I got the Colts -7. The Raiders are going all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, and the team sucks. The team's just not good. I've been saying that before the season. Pete Carroll's in over his head with this team. They're just not enough talent, and they should have won. If they're going to win, they got to beat the Bears last week. That's the game you look back on and like, man, can we be 7-7 or 7-8 down the stretch and have a chance to make the playoffs? That's kind of where I thought the Raiders was their ceiling. Now I'm looking at them as winning 4 games, maybe 5 at the most, and they're not winning today. This is going to be an ugly game. The Raiders just lacking talent. They might have the least amount of talent in the entire NFL. There's not a lot going on with the Raiders. They're going to get beat by the Colts today. Yeah, it's 7. Yeah, you don't love laying 7 with Daniel Jones, but I mean, I've seen it now for 4 weeks. Colts are pretty good. So I'll lay the 7 there, and I'll 100% lay the 4.5. The line's gone up a little bit. I saw 3.5 earlier in the week. Eagles, Broncos. This Broncos team is just not good. The Bengals let them off the hook last week. Yeah, the Broncos beat up on them. I got the game wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong about the Broncos. I think this Eagles team is primed for a really big game. They let their foot off the gas a little bit in Tampa last week. The Broncos, the Eagles match up perfectly with the Broncos on defense. It's like the typical game where Bo Nix is just absolutely horrible. They're going to collapse the pocket on them. They're not going to let them run around. The Broncos lack playmakers. Sean Payton's, I think he's lost his fastball. I think this one gets ugly early. I got the Eagles in a blowout. And then I know this is, I'm like holding my nose when I make this pick, but I do really like the Dolphins today. They're minus 1.5 at Carolina. What Carolina did last week it should be criminal. To lose 42-13 to the Patriots like that, when they kind of had good stats, is just, I don't know, the karma with the Panthers owner and that front office is at an all-time low. That guy, the Panthers can't get out of their own way. They got rid of Darnold and Baker. Both of them are leading teams to the playoffs, and they didn't pick Stroud. They got Bryce Young. They had the bright spot a couple weeks ago beating the Falcons. That's mainly because the Falcons were sleepwalking. I'm going to say the Dolphins actually played better today without Tyreek Hill. Maybe it frees the offense up to feature some other guys. It's always my feeling in professional sports when their best player's out. The very next game, everybody else just plays better. They're more excited. They're more tuned in, especially if they're playing against a bad team like the Panthers. Panthers can't stop the run. I'll take the Dolphins minus the 1.5. So those are my two games at those are my two games at 1 o'clock. I got the Dolphins my 3 games at 1 o'clock. Dolphins minus 1.5, Eagles minus 4.5, Colts minus 7. All right, 4 o'clock games. Titans, Cardinals. If you put the gun to my head this time, I think I'm going to take the Titans, because as much as I say you can't bet the Titans, I really don't think you can bet the Cardinals minus 7.5 either. I don't know. I got to check my rule book here, but I'm sure that's in there somewhere. Cardinals minus 7.5. That doesn't feel like the right thing to do. It is a stay away game. You really can't take the Titans plus 7.5, because you just can't. There's just too many other things to do with your life to bet the Titans. You just don't have to do it. If you're in some sort of contest, you have to pick the games. I like the Titans. 7.5 is just too many. Maybe they accidentally win this game. The Cardinals, they're just not situational football these last 2 weeks. 2 divisional losses, games they could have won, Seattle and San Francisco. Hard to bounce back from that. We'll see what happens today. 41.5 is the total. Seems like a low number, but I'll stay away from that one. And I'll also stay away from the Lions and the Bengals, because the Bengals ruined my Monday night. What a horrible game. I'm coming home from basketball practice Monday, and I'm like, good. I don't have to watch the Dolphins-Jets game. Come in, it's 3-0, like exactly the way I thought this game would go. 3-0. It's going to be a tight game. Bengals will be there at the end, and then that's just the end of the Bengals. They can't get anything going. The energy and the karma in that clubhouse is just, I think it's at an all-time low. I thought they would rally behind Burrow because of the way they beat Jacksonville. You're like, man, that was what a great win for the team and the franchise. And then they get absolutely, crushed by the Vikings, crushed by the Broncos. Now they're home against the Lions, who are in a great mood, playing the best football in the NFL. It's 10.5 points. Knowing how the NFL works, the Bengals will beat them by 2 touchdowns, but I'll stay away from it. I do like 2 games here at 4 o'clock, and I'm going to take the favorite here in Seattle. I feel like I was early on the Seahawks last year, and then I didn't believe in Darnold this year. But Mike McDonald was cooking, man. He is, Ravens. That's the girl you let get away from you if you're the Ravens, because Mike McDonald is out here just cooking. He is. He's rebuilding the Seahawks. He didn't like his offensive coordinator last year, so he got rid of him, sent him back to college, brings in this Kubiak guy who has got Darnold looking great. I mean, Darnold is comfortable. Darnold is confident. And this is a really bad spot for Tampa. This could be the worst possible matchup for Tampa, coming off that home loss to the Eagles. Go across the country, you're banged up. And it's a humbling day for Baker. Baker's been flying high. Bad interception at the end of the game last week. And the Seahawks, the one thing about McDonald is all Ravens fans know is they're going to get pressure. Somehow, some way, they're going to get pressure. The Bucs offensive line's banged up. I will take Seattle. I'll lay the 3.5. I don't love it. I'll buy it down to 3 just in case, but I do like Seattle. And then I really like the Chargers. So I was wrong about Washington last week. And I think I was wrong about it because Washington, its defense just isn't that good. I'm still fading the Falcons. They're off this week. I thought last week's game, when you get a game wrong, you have to go back and be like, what exactly did I get wrong? Did I get the Falcons part wrong or the Commanders part wrong? What exactly happened in that game? I'm like, I don't think Washington's defense is that good. That's why I didn't predict them to make the playoffs this year. I just thought Atlanta's so bad that Washington would win that game. Now they're going to go to LA, and everyone wants to take Washington because the Chargers just lost to the Giants, and now their other offensive tackles hurt, Joe Alt, along with Slater, and then Mekhi Beck. They're just all banged up, right? But just close your eyes and remind yourself that Harbaugh's the coach and that they're going to play better today. That's just the way Harbaugh teams do it. The Chargers are home. It's not a big home field advantage, but Daniels is coming back off the injury. I just don't love that spot for Washington. Chargers -2.5. I will take the Chargers. I have no idea what's going to happen tonight in this Bills-Patriots game because the Bills, I don't even know if they're a good football team or not. The way they play football, it's like I can't get over the first 3 quarters as the Ravens are just kicking their ass. I'm thinking the Bills are the team from hell this year. The Bills just don't have it. Their defense isn't that good. They don't have enough playmakers. And then a tip ball in the end zone and a couple Josh Allen heroics later, and the Bills are 4-0 with a home game against the Patriots tonight. And the Patriots team is just not very good. That's why the number is 8.5. I know people want to take the Patriots or at least tease it to take the Patriots with all those points or tease it the other way, and the Bills just have to win by a field goal. I got to see the first quarter. I got to see if the Bills defense is ready to go, because if the defense is ready to go tonight and they collapse the pocket on Drake May, the Patriots aren't going to score. The way to beat Buffalo is you got to get out in the perimeter. You got to attack their secondary. New England can't really do that. So 8.5, it does seem like a lot of points, but I would swallow the points if you made me. I'll see how I feel later today if I want to end up taking Buffalo. But I do think Josh Allen has a big game tonight, especially since he hasn't the past couple of weeks. All right, here we go. Ravens, Texans. Let's figure out what the hell is going to happen today. Well, John Harbaugh gets what he wants because we're going to run the football, and we're going to try to win this game 13-9, 13-10, 12-6. A John Harbaugh type of game. And can they pull it off? I'm going to say they can't pull it off. I just don't feel it. I hate thinking that way, but I think they need one more big loss. Might even need 2 before they finally turn the season around. Not giving up on the season yet, but when you don't take accountability after a loss, you're not going to fix it the following week. They didn't take accountability after Detroit, and they didn't take accountability after the Kansas City game. This Texans team is feeling really good. Yeah, they're 1-3, but they could have won a couple of those games. They lost at the end. The defense is just really good. They're going to play really well, and they have a chip on their shoulder because last time they came to Baltimore, we beat them in the playoffs, and we beat them, 31-2 last year on Christmas. So you factor those things in, and then you just look at the X's and the O's, and you're like, yeah, give me some Cooper Rush highlights when he was with the Cowboys, then I'll feel better, but don't make me watch the preseason because I don't know what the hell he was doing. It was a little concerning to say the least. And I have no idea. I have no idea if the Ravens are going to get going. Derrick Henry's not running hard in the hole. It's a weird thing to say because he's in amazing shape. Seems like the greatest guy in the world. Always runs hard in the open field when he's got somebody smaller staring at him. But you go turn on the film of these goal line runs and some of these short yardage situations, and he's not running as hard. He's not breaking through the tackles. He's ducking the smoke a little bit in the hole. And everyone's like, yeah, just give Derrick Henry the ball and we'll be fine. I don't know. I'm happy Keaton Mitchell's going to be on the field today. I hope they can use him and he can get going, but they're putting a lot of pressure on him by being like, hey, this is the first game you're activated. He should just be part of the offense. And then when you go to the other side of the ball, the Ravens defense is going to play better today because, how could they play worse in the past couple of weeks? They're going to play a little better today, I imagine, especially when you got guys filling in. You get the chip on your shoulder, the whole 9 yards. We'll see exactly who's out by the time they kick the thing off. But Ravens fans got to be prepared for the 1-4 when they wake up tomorrow morning because it just everything's going in the wrong direction. Doesn't mean the season's over, but I'm not very confident today, unfortunately, in the Ravens. And that is that. So, all right, what else we got? 2 baseball games today. Yankees are playing at 4 against the Blue Jays, and then the Tigers. I mean, look, if you're watching the football game tonight, you have to have Scooble on your phone, on a tablet. You got 2 TVs. You got to watch this guy pitch, and then you got to ask yourself, could the Orioles really have gotten him last year? Could we really have gotten him if we gave up everybody? And yeah, the answer is probably yes. And Mayo and Kerstead and the whole 9 yards. But here we are. We're here instead watching Scooble pitch, and the Tigers. I don't know if this momentum is going to carry them all the way to the World Series, but yeah, I'd be careful betting against the Tigers right this second. And the Yankees are big favorites today, minus 156 at your own peril, because I don't know, feels like they won their World Series when they beat the Red Sox in that series. There's a lot of emotion for the Yankees for a wild card win, and the Blue Jays they're smacking the ball right now. So those are my thoughts. Good luck on the games. To recap it, I got 5. Hopefully, it's a 5-0 today. A 5-0 day. We'll see how it plays out. But I got the Dolphins minus 1.5, Colts -7, Eagles -4.5, Seahawks -3 by the 0.5 point there, and then the Chargers -2.5. All righty. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Enjoy yourself, and yeah, see ya. Good luck.